we give thanks for the blessed flames. May we always continue to have peace. Son of Soliana, guide and watch over us with your eternal light.
It's no secret that I'm not really the biggest fan of remakes. I think by and large they are mostly unnecessary, and to me they just seem like an easy cash grab. I think the better option is just updated ports of these older titles. And one of the reasons why I think remakes are so pointless is because, you ever notice it's always a remake of an existing great game. Resident Evil 2, Dead Space, Silent Hill 2, the recently announced Silent Hill 1, Halo Campaign Evolved, Persona 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, and the list goes on and on and on. So here's what I propose, that I think will certainly make remakes at least a little more interesting. And that would be, why not remake bad or at the very most middling games? Think about a bad or mid game you've played. Let's say something like, I don't know, Sonic 06. This is a game that surely needs no introduction. It's a broken mess that is severely unfinished due to Sega not giving the team enough time to properly develop the game. Well, in my hypothetical situation, imagine if this game was able to get an official remake. Wouldn't that be cool? Imagine the things it could do with it. And the reason I mention this game as my example is because, we already saw what a remake of this game could look like. And that's with Project 06, or the P06 remake for short. This is a completely fan-made remake, and in my personal opinion, it takes a very bad game and completely redoes it and improves it in basically every way. The controls are better, the performance is better, bugs are virtually non-existent, there are great quality of life changes, and the small adjustments made to the level design turn what was originally one of the worst Sonic games into one of the best. And that is the potential with this radical idea of mine. Because, remaking a great game usually just makes another good game. Mostly. I feel like that doesn't really do a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It's just another good game with vaguely familiar items and stuff and level design from a previous game. However, when remaking a bad game, I think it does more for the industry and the consumer, because it shows that the industry can learn from its mistakes and the consumer gets a new product that is actually of quality. Of course, remaking a bad game does come with a few issues. For example, how much of the original game should be preserved? In my opinion, when it comes to remaking anything, I think you should be as faithful as possible while also making your own additions and stuff like that. That's why I think remakes like Dead Space and Resident Evil 1 are the top tier standard that every other remake should aspire to be. Of course, not everyone will agree on what made the game bad in the first place. And when that's the case, it's going to be really hard for the developers to come to a consensus on how to fix it. If the game in question has some serious design flaws at its core, then it'll be a much more challenging project to undertake. However, I firmly believe that this will overall be a better move because, like I said previously, it's better for the industry as well as being better for the consumer. And, just to kind of go off the cuff here, I think it'll be better for the developers as well because, being able to actually understand what made a game work and not work could help, inspire future projects. And now with this knowledge, they actually know what to do or what not to do. So for this video, I used 06 as the primary example, but some other bad games that I think could really benefit from getting a remake would be Devil May Cry 2, Mega Man X7, Mighty No. 9, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, and I can name a bunch more, but I think you get the point. I know this would never happen because, corporate greed and whatnot, and also the consumers probably wouldn't be very receptive to it. They'll be like, what? You're remaking a bad game? This game's going to be bad just like the original. Because, a lot of these people are kind of... No, let me not go there. But anyway, yes, I think this is just something cool to think about. Like I said, I know it's never going to happen, but I think it's definitely something to think about. And who knows, maybe more fan projects can be there as well. Because Mega Man X8 also had some people don't like that game, and it had a fan-made remake, and that was pretty good. I liked it. But anyway, before I go too long, this is supposed to be a small discussion video. What do you guys think? If you agree or disagree, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and then just let me know if you have any ideas about this. Anyway, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.